So I've been gone for about, I don't know, 2 weeks now. Um, I'm gonna be honest, it's hard for me to keep track of, like what's going on in terms of like timeline and, my life, my day to day. It's hard to keep track of the days. But I figured I owe it to the people that do watch my content, an explanation as to what's been going on in my life. I won't go too deep into details because they're personal problems, and I don't want to air 100% of my dirty laundry on the internet. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm a pretty open book. Um, if people ask me things, I usually answer them. I don't really care. Um, Fairly recently, at the start of my hiatus, me and my partner broke up, and it it was it was my fault. I'm the reason that the relationship crumbled. Uh, I have a very very broken social dynamic and skill set where in real life when I'm in person I don't actually say much. You'd be lucky to get 3 words out of my mouth when we have a conversation. Um, it's easier for me to talk on a stream or on a recording because it's just me in the room. There's no one talking back to me. There's no faces looking at me. The stress is so much less. And there's still stress there. I still think about like what people will think when I say things on recordings and streams, but it's definitely less. It allows me to actually talk in full sentences. Um, when it comes to friends, I don't talk to them much at all. I think the only times that they can get me to verbally talk is if we're playing a video game. Um, because then the conversation is about the game. It's almost like we're not talking to each other. We're talking parallel to each other, if that makes any sense. So that makes it easier for me socially. Um, So when it came to my partner, I wasn't giving her the attention that she deserved because she didn't really have any games that we could play together, and that's usually where my socializing comes into play, right? So so we weren't talking all that much. It could have gone days or weeks where I wouldn't say much, and that's not right. No one should feel like they aren't the important part of the relationship or a person's life. So, so it's entirely my fault that the relationship had the troubles that it did. You know, Regardless of the fact that I'm self-aware that I was the issue, it still hit me pretty hard when things broke off. And it was sort of a mutual thing of like we knew we had things to work on in our own lives to get into a more steady place, but also the fact that I just wasn't giving her the attention she needed. But it still hurt because I don't really go into relationships very often. I don't really care too much about being in a relationship. Um it's very rare that I click with someone on a certain level. Like it's very hard that personalities and interests align in just the right way. And I clicked with her very well. And I think part of the reason why the relationship fumbled so hard is because I rushed into it. Yeah, I've been pretty lonely in this point of my life. It's it's been a hard time for me. And it was definitely she was around at one of the lower points in my life where I found someone. It wasn't that they were giving me attention or anything. It was more like we clicked. We would have made incredible friends if I didn't like rush into a relationship. Um, I feel like if things were spread out, if we took the time, it probably would have turned out a lot better. Um, but yeah, I'm not trying. This was me not trying to say too much about my personal situation, and here I am unloading on everyone watching. Point is that it took a lot out of me. Um, the breakup. I felt like I didn't deserve to be happy, and I still don't to an extent. I think that I'm not deserving of a lot. And, that's just me. Um, and it was hard to find inspiration after that too, because it wasn't just her. It's just more whoever I'm passionate with in the moment, whoever I'm friends with, whoever I'm dating, whoever I'm like. I draw inspiration from those people in my life. And so after the breakup, it was hard for me to find the inspiration to do anything, to play games with friends, to do writing. I do creative lit on the side. I even had to pause a couple commissions for world building that I was doing, and thankfully the people understood, and I'm getting back into it now. But so that was one of the reasons why I was having a bit of an issue. Um, Other things going on is the fact that um, I got pretty sick after the breakup as well, like really sick. It definitely had something to do with the downward spiral that I went on, where I was drinking and eating junk food, and I was just kind of not taking care of myself. Um, I'm disappointed in myself to say that I returned to a couple drugs for a brief period, and it didn't do too well in my body. I already have a number of medical conditions and physical issues with me. So all of that took a toll and I got really sick. So even when I was starting to be on the mend mentally or emotionally, I was super sick and I didn't feel very, very good. So, I didn't feel good physically or emotionally. And it was just two things putting pressure on me. Finally, the third thing, and probably the one that's been affecting me the most, is my best friend from high school. This is, mind you, I didn't keep in touch with very many people from high school. There was only three people that I kept in touch with. Um, I won't go into detail on the other two, as that's very personal, and I don't want to talk about it. Um, the third one, my best friend Emil, I just found out recently that he'd been fighting cancer for a good few years now, and he never told me about it because he thought he could beat it, and he figured that he didn't want me to stress over it because he figured he could beat it, and it wouldn't be an issue. Uh, he told me recently because he found out that he couldn't beat it. There's just no way. He was getting better for a little while, um, but it just returned and it came back much worse. Seeing him decay, and that's what it is. It was a complete decay. Watching him decay has been one of the hardest things in my life. I've lost people before. I've had friends and people I cared about pass away, but it's never been this slow. It is such a rotting, decaying death. And so I said my goodbyes recently. And he's still with us right now, but he didn't want me or doesn't want me to see him at the end. He doesn't want me to be there. So we said our goodbyes recently. And it's a weird experience, to be honest, to say goodbye to somebody and to sit here right now knowing that he's still there, suffering. I don't know when he's gonna pass. I only know that he's gonna be cremated. And I'm going to have to do something with his ashes. I'm pretty much the only person he has left in his life. So I'm gonna have to find a place for that. And I'm not saying all this for like pity or anything. I've had a lot of time to think on it and reflect. And, I don't want to sit here and feel like shit about this. This is the hand that the gods dealt us. So you can't control these factors. And I just have to kind of push past it. Emil has been one of like the greatest pillars of support in my life. And I know none of you watching will even know about them because, I'm for the most part a private guy unless you ask me about things. If you don't ask me about things, chances are you'll never know much because I don't like to talk openly unless prompted. Emil has been there for so many ups and downs in my life. And I don't know when he's gonna pass. I really don't. So these past 2 or 3 weeks, however long it's just been a fucking roller coaster of emotion. I got the breakup, and I got sick. I've been have had to say goodbyes to someone close to me. It's been a hard month. And it's my fucking birthday next month. It's gonna be my birthday in October. And it's hard to really find the positives in that. It's hard to really like move forward. It's hard to take that first step. But I'm gonna have to. I can't just sit here moping about my life forever. You know. Um I don't even know why I'm making this video. You know. I figured for the most part people that watch my stuff probably just think, he stopped uploading videos or he stopped streaming, it's whatever, I'll go find another YouTuber. But one of the reasons why I created the channel and, started streaming was it wasn't to make money or anything. It wouldn't make enough to support me ever. It's more just because I wanted to create a community of like-minded weirdos, you know. Just come by, be weird, be kinky, just play some games. Um, it was mainly made because I myself like to watch long Twitch stream VODs as like background noise. And so I figured I'd market my content to people like me that just want background noise. So I guess this update video is for anyone that actually likes my content and is wondering where it is. I can't imagine there's very many of you, but for those of you that have watched, have subscribed, have donated and seem to like it and support, you know, thank you. Um, it's been a rough time for me, but I'm working on it. I'm working on things. I'm getting back into life and just I don't know if it's healthy, but I'm just pushing past. I'm just moving forward. We're just gonna see what happens. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming yet. Um, I'm in a mindset now where I'm a little more stable and I'm able to do certain things. Like I'm still running TTRPG games for a couple of friends and people I know. And those are really good because the people there, the players are very supportive and they've been helping me too. I've got friends that have been helping me as well. Um, I do want to get back to streaming. I want to get back into it and continue doing it because, it makes me feel good. I enjoy playing games and having people in chat just sitting around with me. But I don't think I'm ready yet. Not yet. I'm gonna work on that. I think for right now, I just kind of want to take some time and try to find myself, which is super corny to say, honestly. I would love to slap myself now that I've heard that have heard that come out of my mouth. I'm kind of rambling now. That's all I wanted to say on the matter. Um, yeah, I don't want to talk about some of the things that I'm planning in the future because, it's not appropriate time for that. You know, I'm just here to talk about my best friend and my relationship that, fell apart. Those other things can wait. There's no rush. Um, Thank you for those that stuck around to listen to me, air my filthy laundry. Thank you for anyone that supports the channels or just likes my content for what it is, simple and, casual. Um, yeah, that's it. I don't really have the energy to keep rambling.